This podcast is brought to you by Martin Kearns and the Valor of Valhalla series. In the battle between two ancient evils, can one naive young man become the last hope against powerful creatures of legend? Beneath the Veil is the gripping first book in the Valor of Valhalla dark urban fantasy series. If you like reluctant heroes, infernal myths, and bloody epic clashes, then you'll love Martin Kearns' formidable foray into the unknown. So head on over to readkearns.com and grab yourself a copy of Beneath the Veil today. Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. Today we got an author from our shores, from the shores of Sydney. But before we bring her in, Ryan, are you living the dream still?
I am living the dream as per the shirt says. I finally washed it and finally wore it today out in public. And I'll be wearing it probably on Saturday out in public because I'm committed to washing my merch. I'm good. It's been a big week. I finally start to go back to the movies. I went and saw Sam Raimi's The Horror Gods, a new movie called Send Help with Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien about someone who is in a lot of our lives. They're basically an asshole boss and a really hard-working survivalist worker gets stranded and horror ensues. So it was very, very good. Sam Raimi, obviously from the Evil Dead franchise and from the original Spider-Man franchise as well. Very, very good. Really loved it. Game-wise, I finished all the Spider-Man movies. I'm very upset. All the Spider-Man games, I'm very upset about that. I am playing, dropped from the State of Play from PlayStation. They dropped a new God of War game, Son of Sparta. It's a 2D one. It's pretty good. I've been playing that for a little bit. But yeah, other than that, just been reading. I finished my reread of Whispers in the Woods by Don Campbell. He's a very sick man, and I love it. I've started the Matt Waterhouse one. Concrete something. That's really good advertising for him. Concrete something. It's not called Concrete something. It's called Concrete.
Well,
just talk amongst yourselves. I want to give him credit.
It's
really good.
We can refer
it's
them
really
to,
good.
We can refer them to the last episode. Matt Waterhouse was on last episode, so you can go back and check that out.
Yeah, what's the last episode?
Yeah, find out what it is.
Yeah, he's got a couple of series, but he's also he's got one horror book, and I'm about 25% through, and it's very, very good.
Excellent. Well, speaking of books, check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells and Martin Kearns. They got some great stuff out. Check out our honorary sponsors, Janelle Schiecke. She won Best Read last year for The Clatterman, and Best Cover is The Land of the Ill-Imagined. I keep forgetting that. By Alexander Robb. Check that out. All the links are down below in the show notes. Buy Ryan's shirt. Support the man. You too can.
And the name of that book was Bleeding Concrete.
Bleeding Concrete.
Bleeding Concrete was the name of that book.
Check it out, and check out our last episode with Matt Waterhouse. It was
so buy my shirt.
Buy my shirt. Yes. Anyway, let's bring in our guest, Livia J Elliot. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Now, from your accent, people may not realize that you're actually in Sydney.
Yeah.
How did you come to be in Australia?
So I'm originally from Argentina, South America. And I came here for work. I actually been around Australia, different cities, different positions. Now I'm currently here. So yeah, that's how. Yeah.
Now, a lot of our guests that we've spoken to, especially even Matt Waterhouse, like they went somewhere for work and they went, I'm going to be here 6 months, and they ended up staying here forever. Like, is that what happened to you, or did you just plan to come here?
No, I was actually looking to emigrate. I had a few countries that I was willing to go, weather, things like that that really affect the decision. And I started applying, got an offer here, and I really liked it. I also had some contacts that wouldn't stop saying nice things about Australia. So yeah, that's how I ended up here.
And you're still alive. Nothing of our animals have tried to kill you yet, obviously.
No kangaroos even, because they are a hazard on the road.
Yeah, and they like to punch out tourists. So I'm glad that you haven't had to encounter that before you officially moved here.
Yeah.
Although SS Fitzgerald, I don't know if he sent you this, Ryan, but he sent me the video of the this guy parachuting and he lands on the ground and he gets attacked by the kangaroo. He's just like, screw you, Skip. Yeah. It's funny. Anyway, for
That's
those who
good.
those
Like
who
that.
may
But
not
yeah,
know, sorry, your internet's a little scratchy tonight, Ryan.
that's how dangerous they are, man. They literally. Oh, okay, sorry, man. I'll try and close down as much as I can.
It's all right. Yeah, so the first question of the show is pretty much, who is Livia J Elliot?
Oh, I have a few labels. So I'm an author. I'm also a podcaster. I write on Substack. So let me go through those three things. As an author, I have currently 2 series, Records of the Orders and Tales of the Bookshelves. They are both psychological in a different way. Records of the Orders is weird lit, a genre blender. Tales of the Bookshelves are psychological fairy tales for adults. I also write interactive fiction, which I publish in an app I developed with my partner, which is called Unearthed Stories. It's mostly literary, speculative fiction for adult readers. It's very different. And we also have short interactive stories from invited indie writers. So you may want to check those out. I'm also a podcaster. I host the Books Undone podcast, which it's very different to this. I do thematic analysis of books and sometimes group discussions. That means that the content is generally very long form. And I also write in Substack. I teach basically different ways on how to write in a way that is not, show don't tell. I like to be more specific. I don't like prescriptive advice. So when I read, I'm pretty analytical. I like to see what is being done with the text and why. Why did the author choose this particular word? Why this adjective? Why this structure? So that's basically what I do. I do very specific breakdowns on different books, on different themes. And yeah, that's basically me.
Awesome. Yeah, sounds like you're very, very busy.
Yeah, I do a lot of things which sometimes gets in the way of writing, but I manage.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I've just gone back to full-time work and it's killing me because I'm in my head and I'm thinking of story ideas and I'm going like, and I'm literally stopping and I'm going like, taking notes.
I literally have an app, like a markdown app, that I just open a new one and put down a few ideas and that's it. And I keep it there. And sometimes I have just like the opening lines that I will get the idea, or if it is an interactive story, I will shut down the mechanics of what I want to do.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough that I've got to use like a tablet, like an iPad kind of thing at work all the time, so I can just get away with it. Oh, I'm just working,
writing.
It's good. Look, we want to get into everything about your writing and your books. But first we have icebreaker questions because we like to get to know people because then we find out that 9 times out of 10 people will buy your books because they know you. They feel like they know you. Ryan's nodding because literally, like, he's bought hundreds of books just from this podcast. And the only ones he hasn't bought are Westerns and hardcore sci-fis. So I think we're safe.
I checked my to be read. So
that's a lot.
Lots and lots of books to read. Yeah. I
Yeah.
read a lot though, so my goal is to read 50 this year. 50 this year I want to read.
Does that include my books or is that like a separate category?
No, I am including your books in that because the one that I read that you haven't released yet was the second one that I read this year. So it is so far I'm up to 5, and I'm planning to get to 50 by the end of the year.
You can do it. You can do it.
You can do it.
I think it's your turn to go first, Ryan, from memory from these icebreaker questions.
Yeah, definitely is. Okay, so I'm going to set the where there's no wars. It's all peaceful, peacetime, no cruelty to animals, no cruelty to humans. Politicians actually tell the truth and do the job that they're supposed to do without any scandals or corruptions or anything like that. So basically, seeing as that we live in this almost perfect world, what is something that you wish could just be gone from this world?
The stickers on the book covers that are printed into the book cover, so you cannot remove them. I hate them.
We've had that before.
Like I literally had the Witcher editions that had the Netflix, and I just like, nope. And read them and nope, because I don't like them. That, and the second thing will be the editions of the same book that are not printed in the same size. Like I have the novelizations of Death Stranding that I did on a podcast. It's for the first game, it's just 2 books. And I don't know why the second volume is 5 millimeters taller. And I'm just like, I want to chop that. Why would you do that? 5 millimeters taller? No. That. So the stickers and books that don't match. Yeah.
100%. Just quickly, Ryan, if it gets too blocky, you may as well switch to audio if you want, because you are dropping out a fair bit.
I'll do that now and see how we go. I'll see how we go for a little bit.
You sound a lot better already.
Yeah.
And I get to stick up a photo of your picture.
I've just switched to audio only for a bit.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, you're much better. Don't worry, NBN is coming. And it's pre-recorded. It's pre-recorded, so we're all good. All right, let's move on to the second question. What's something on your bucket list?
Yes, eventually.
The bucket list. So I have a nice car, so I want to drive the Grand Pacific Drive.
Oh.
Yeah. So I already have the whole route mapped of where I want to go and come back. So that's a pending one.
Excellent. Yeah, I love road tripping. The only place I haven't been is Perth, like pretty much.
Yeah.
That drive would kill me.
Yeah. So before I was living in Canberra, and it has very nice driving loops. Yeah, that you can go just from the city like an hour and come back, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
All right. So this next question, we do have a visual aid, which Jamie is bringing up as we speak.
Boom.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. So this being Mount Rushmore in a famous American landmark with 4 famous presidents, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and George Washington, not in any particular order.
All right, Ryan's just dropped out. He'll be back in a second, but I will ask the question for him.
Okay.
What is your Mount Rushmore of TV shows? So basically 4 of your favorite shows that you would stick up on the Mount Rushmore.
Okay. I will have to put up the 3 Back to the Future movies in one of them.
Oh my God, yes.
Because I love them.
That's so good.
I love them, and they do not need a remake. They are perfect as they are. Excellent music, excellent
100%.
plot. Yes. And I will keep watching them even though I know them by memory because they are excellent. So yeah. I could put the 3 of them there, but that will be cheating. So just one. The second one is probably something that you weren't expecting. I'm going to put up an anime show, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, which is, it's a mecha, big robot series.
Yeah.
But that series is very political, very heavy. It's what in books we will call grimdark. It's about war and the effects of war and children being used in the war as tools and discarded. It's about classicism. So it's a very thematic and compelling series besides robots. So it's a great one. That will be the second one. For the third one, I have a few doubts because I have loved different series, but I'm going to switch genres. Another movie, Interstellar. I just loved it. Yeah, it blew my mind the first time I watched it. I keep watching it and finding new details on it. So yeah, it's an incredible TV show. I think I'm going more for movies in this case than TV shows, but yeah, I watch more movies.
I don't mind. You said Back to the Future, so you sold me already.
I'm fine. And yeah, the fourth one, I'm going to put another wheel. So Tenet, which is also by Christopher Nolan, I really like the theme, like the way they use the time loop. I thought it was very unique, very different to what we generally have in time loops. So yeah, those two.
Excellent. You're back, Ryan.
I am. I just reset everything, so hopefully it's all good.
Well, you sound perfect right now. So
yeah,
just don't move. Wear your alfoil hat. You know, like that episode of Mr. Bean where he's in the cardboard box.
Yeah.
It's only at night, man. It's really literally only at night time that my internet, because everyone's home, everyone's on the network. So yeah. Hopefully it won't be for too much longer.
Yeah. It's all right. Anyway, you won't hear when Livia broke all the rules, but I allowed it because she said Back to the Future.
That's fine.
So basically, to run it through you again, Ryan, she had the Back to the Future trilogy.
Yep. One of the Gundam series, Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. Then 2 movies by Christopher Nolan, Interstellar and Tenet.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen Tenet. I've loved Interstellar. I've watched that many times. But I still haven't seen Tenet because I'm kind of scared to watch it because everyone says, whether or not you can comprehend everything, you have to watch it twice.
It's very interesting. Yeah, it's a time loop movie. So it has some back and forth that when you finish it, it comes back. But I really like that it's not the classical time loop series or going to the future and then coming back. The way he used the idea of different timelines, it's pretty original to me. So yeah.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I watched it on one of the streaming. When it pops up and I go, you know what, I'll watch that. And I enjoyed it because I like a lot of his films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I pretty much seen, I think, almost all of his films, and they're all brilliant. So I might just have to bite the bullet and watch it.
Yeah.
The Prestige, based on the book by Christopher Priest, is excellent.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
It's not just because it's got Hugh Jackman in it, and it's not just because Christian Bale's in it, with his real accent, which blows people's minds.
Yeah.
That's his accent.
That's a fantastic movie. I've watched that many times as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even if you don't like Hugh Jackman, you'll love it because he dies over and over and over again.
How could you not like Hugh Jackman? He's like one of the most likable people in the entire world.
Yeah, like 100%.
And he has an incredible voice. Like this movie he did, like the one that they were on the... I can't remember the name.
Is it the musical?
It's also with the musical also with Zac Efron and I think with Zendaya.
Yeah. The Greatest Showman.
Exactly, The Greatest Showman. Excellent. All the songs, everything, he nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, utterly brilliant. And of course, Les Mis that he did, which he was robbed for that Oscar. He should have gotten the Oscar for that.
Yeah.
Hands down. But they made a movie about everyone's favorite president at the same time. So.
Yeah.
Give it to the guy that's never got an Oscar, or give it to the guy who's already had 3 Oscars. What do you do? All right, let's move on to everyone's favorite. What is your zombie apocalypse plan?
Oh, my whole TBR in paperbacks, in physicals, a lunch or a nice comfortable chair, and a lot of cheese. That's it.
So you're just not going to go anywhere?
No, that's it.
You're going to try and read as many books as you can before the zombies come.
While eating cheese, exactly.
While eating cheese, I like it.
Well, we did have someone once say they're going to hang it in a cigar shop, so it's it's good. Do you live in a highly dense area, like population wise?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do.
So yeah, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, not escaping.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I'm kind of like 5 minutes from Parramatta, so I'm up the creek regardless. So
you are not crossing Parramatta Road at any moment fast.
But Ryan, it'll be like Bollywood zombies because of the high Indian population there. Was that a bad joke, or did we lose you again?
I think he muted himself.
He muted himself. Okay.
Apologize, because I had to cough, and I mute myself when I had to cough. So high Lebanese population in my area, Middle Eastern, because I love going out the front of my house, whether I'm waiting to go visit my dad or going to physio or whatever, and I just smell the most beautiful food in the world. When was it? I think it was, we went up to visit my dad at 9:30 on Monday morning, and someone was already cooking something that smelled amazing.
Yeah.
I love living in this area, man, and the food smells are just phenomenal.
But it's always at the worst time when you're really hungry. It's like at where I work, sometimes I think one of the neighboring factories, they'd have a barbecue. And I'm going
so 10:30, 11, they will get started.
Yeah, and I'm just like, my stomach.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to I've worked for many companies in the customer service department where warehouses downstairs. And on a Friday, they'd have a barbecue about 9:30, 10 o'clock for breakfast for the boys in the warehouse. And it would just waft up.
Yeah.
And we like, can we just go down and get something, please?
Yeah. It's better than when I used to work at an equestrian play, like a pet food for like horses and everything. Hay. I worked with hay, a lot of hay. And the boss would go to the bakery on Monday afternoon to get like the leftovers, like to get all the pies cheap because it's the end of the day. But then he would bring them to you the next day and he'd warm them up. And then if you didn't eat them, he would freeze them. And then the next day he would reheat them. And then if you didn't eat them, it would just endless until they were gone. And it's just like, and some people had, food poisoning. It was so bad. It was so bad.
It's like so salmonella was another high seller in your place where you worked, I think. Yeah. Especially with all the chicken pies.
We had a truck driver come in to deliver the hay from he'd come in like once a week or something. And then he'd get the pie and we'd be like, you don't want to eat that. He'd be like, what? And then he puts it down and tries to feed it to the dog, and the dog's like, nah. So if the dog won't eat it, something's up.
That's when you know it's bad, when the dog won't eat it.
Yep.
I do the same with my cat. One of my cat, Ripley, she's now developed a ham addiction. So what we're trying to eat a little bit healthier here. So we've kind of cut out bread. So we have like these things called Cruskets, which are essentially like just biscuits with not much in them. And so I do like a little ham and cheese. And the second I open the ham, regardless of where she is in the house, I look down and she's sitting right there. And if I don't give her some ham, she will meow and meow and meow. And now she's addicted to ham. And you know what? I know that's a good thing because she will not eat it if it's gone off. So I give her a little bit first, and we've had the ham for maybe 4 or 5 days, and she won't eat it. I'm like, okay, we'll throw that out and we'll get some new stuff.
So that sounds nice, but at the same time, she's like your tester,
Yeah.
She may die for you, Ryan, and that's sad.
And you know what? She bloody well wants to, because I love her. She lived a life of luxury in my house, man. She's currently, this is our vicious, and you can't see me because I'm on audio. I did the air quotes. My vicious cat. She's currently sprawled out we got some new blankets for our bedroom. She's currently sprawled out on a really fluffy blanket, just laying there enjoying the aircon. And this is supposed to be a vicious fighter cat. And
she's claimed your territory.
Yeah, she has. She really has.
She's won.
She's Yeah, she better take a bullet from me is all I'm saying, because I do the same for them.
I'm literally seeing a slow motion cat diving in front of you. That's just what I'm saying.
Oh, well, with AI, I'll tell you that's the one and only thing that AI should ever be used for is making amazing cats
Cat
videos.
videos.
Our friend Chris, our mutual friend Chris, who has he loves Star Wars, or well, used to love Star Wars until the new stuff came out. But he sent us a video today. I don't know if you've watched it yet, Jamie, but
Yeah, I did.
it's titled "The Only Reason AI, the Only Thing AI Should Be Used For," and it's two cats fighting each other and doing like the speech of one brother versus another brother. He's dishonoring him, and then and then one of them goes down and it's like, now my power can grow.
And they're wearing robes.
Amazing.
And
they're
magic.
wearing robes.
It's pretty funny.
And it's kind of a Star Wars Lord of the Rings mashup kind of thing. It's amazing.
Cool. Anyway, you get to ask the best question, Ryan, because Livia is a huge Back to the Future fan.
Yeah. Well, that's good, because it's the first time we don't have to say, do you know who Dr. Emmett Brown is? Because not everyone knows. I mean, we changed this question from Bill and Ted because most people probably 50% of the people that we'll talk to were quite young and they didn't know who Bill and Ted was. So we had to change it then to Dr. Emmett Brown. I'm just waiting for someone to go, who's that? Oh. But so far we haven't had that. But seeing as you love Back to the Future, we're not going to get that with you. So that's good.
Yes.
So Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where do you go and when do you go? So, where are you going and what time period?
So probably first to the future to get some plutonium, because the car has a tendency of breaking down and leave you stranded, and I don't want to, have to get a train to push it. And probably then back to Rome, ancient Rome in the past. Yeah.
Would you are you wanting to go back to ancient Rome? Because I would like to go to ancient Rome to see the Colosseum, to see the gladiator fights, and to see how that all came about, and everything involved there. Is that a reason that you want to go back, or is it purely to see what the time was like back then?
I love history, and I also follow the Stoicism quite a lot. I read a lot of that, so I would like to go to the forum and see if I could hear Epictetus talking. I think it will be amazing. Yeah. And also even farther behind, like Emperor Claudius, that will be also something to watch. And in general, because we still have so much influence from the Roman Empire nowadays, I think it will be very interesting to see. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely can agree. I'm a massive history buff. Me and my dad over the years have been on so many holidays where it's just been all history, to the detriment of my sister and my mother. Me and dad would go off and do, all the fun history stuff about Australia and, all over the world. And I 100% would love to go back to ancient Rome just to see how accurate, we've actually gotten it.
Probably not much.
Exactly. So I'd actually like to see what, how it all started, and I think that would be a really good time period to go to. So I can definitely get on board with that.
Yeah.
You just want to roam around, do you, Ryan?
Besides, in that time, you could just drive in peace.
Yep.
So, exactly.
Drive around in your DeLorean.
Yep. You don't have to worry about registering the vehicle or paying all these taxes and have your rego go up every year. You can just drive around.
The Romans would get in on it. They'd be like, "What's this steel beast?
Probably
tax you." You would get road tolls.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, at the the Centurions will have their checkpoints set up. As you're going through different, and they'll be like, "Hold on, give me money."
Yeah, no, and then you'd say the line, roads where we're going, we don't need roads.
I love that scene.
It's the best.
I don't need roads.
It's the best.
I made Jamie pretty jealous a couple of months ago. I went and saw for the 30th anniversary of the original Back to the Future movie. They had it in cinemas just for one weekend only. And I go to the movies every Saturday, and I saw that. And I'm like, I have to go. And then I took a photo of a scene in there, and I said, guess what I'm watching right now in the cinema? Because I never got to see
it.
It was such a good, it was still just as good watching it, probably for the 20th time.
Yeah.
But watching it on the big screen, it's just amazing.
And also the music. There is no time in which that music doesn't fail to make me think on the movie and the traveling and
Now, here's a bit of trivia for you. Did you know that the composer for Back to the Future did the Avengers?
Wow.
No, I didn't know.
And
that's a very different style. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still the da 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 da.
Yeah.
It feels similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
They tend to have a style which makes sense because at the end of the day it's also art.
Yeah.
So and then you have Hans Zimmer, which he has also a style, and that is just the keyboard on fire, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, though you can name John Williams and you can name Hans Zimmer, but I can't name who does Back to the Future. Like I don't know his name, but I all I know is that he did both.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we made it to the end of the icebreakers, so let's get talking about your author origin story, essentially. So, how did you get into writing? Pretty much.
I actually don't know, because the first memory I have of writing, I was 7 years old. And I was already trying to write something, of course, with the quality of a 7-year-old child. And I was writing in my native language, that's Spanish. But I do remember that it was a science fiction story about someone who moved from the analog world to the digital world. And this was probably in the 90s. So yeah, I was ahead of time. Basically. And I kept writing. I kept trying to write, but of course, I wasn't very good. I was very little. And I had the disgrace of having one of those teachers that think that speculative fiction is not literature, So when I was on high school, that basically put me off writing. I did try to get back up to writing on the following years. Then I went to uni. Life happened, didn't pick it up. And then by 2018, 19, after coming to Australia, I actually started having the itch to write again. I always loved reading, so it wasn't far off my mind, basically. And I always had a lot of ideas of stories to actually put up on writing, and I will just write the ideas somewhere with no expectation of writing them because I was busy with other stuff. So roughly in 2022, before that, I tried to write a story during COVID, but I write weird lit, genre bending stuff that doesn't really fit within one genre. So it was a very hard sell. And I was just back to writing. So I didn't have the same quality that I have now writing, basically. Yeah. So that didn't went well. And at that moment, I wasn't familiar with indie publishing at all, right? So I didn't think that was a possibility. Fast forward a few years, 1 year or so, I was very depressed and sad because I was missing writing. And my partner, he's a video game developer, and he told me, I'm going to make a game for interactive fiction that is only text-based, and you can publish anything in there. You can write and publish your stories there. And I was somewhat familiar with narratives in video games and all, but I didn't have really much experience. So we started basically developing the mechanics and what we wanted and what we wanted to do differently. So it's not only about swipe and make a choice and change a game. It's mostly about, what if I offer you a choice and then for some reason the story refuses you that choice? What impact, emotional impact, does that have on the reader player, right? So I was trying to make something a bit different. That's why we call them literary interactive fiction, because we try to play with that single mechanic to change the way the reader engages with the story in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, we published that on 2023, and after that I was already familiar with self-publishing and everything, and then I decided to start publishing my books. I started with The Genesis of Change, which is a little novella, and that's the main series that I'm publishing. And yeah, that kickstarted the whole thing. After that, last year, it was the second anniversary of Unearthed Stories. And I novelized Dance With Me. So Dance With Me, the one that you have behind you. Yeah, exactly. That started as an interactive fiction story. And I novelized it. And basically I had to try to translate the interactivity into a different format. I extended some paths. There are some scenes that don't happen in the interactive version. And there are things that don't happen in the book that happened in the interactive fiction because I had to choose, basically. And at the same time, I was writing The Omens of War, which is the one that released shortly from my main series. And yeah, nowadays I keep writing my own books. I keep publishing on Unearthed Stories. The last one I wrote, it's a cozy fiction. It's mostly Unearthed Stories, so the app for interactive fiction. Those are my experimental grounds. Like every weird thing that I want to try, I will write it there. Like, for example, I have a story that remembers that you finish it and changes in the reread. It shows you different stuff, and I can do that because it's a game, that we are controlling everything from behind. So yeah, I have an idea to do something inspired by PKD this year on the app. We'll see how that goes. I also want to write a few more books. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And in terms of podcasting, I'm the type of person that won't shut up about books. You give me a book and I will just get on the DeLorean and go for it. Like I can't stop. And I really like analyzing it. Like sometimes I will be just doing one random thing and I'm just like, what if this author actually meant this and that with that single paragraph? And my partner one day told me, like, you should just do a podcast. You love talking about that. Just do a podcast. And yep, that's how the podcast started. I asked a few acquaintances about how to actually podcast, what platforms, what to take into account. And I went for an audio-only format, basically, because I edit my episodes. I like to murder every stutter. So audio-only was easier. And yeah, that's how that started. Actually, my podcast is going into season 3 this year. So nice. Yeah, it's been there quite a while.
Yeah. That's something we don't do. We don't do seasons. I
just count them mostly because I think that my analysis have changed a bit as well. And it's also a way to celebrate the anniversary, if you want to say that way. Yeah. So, when I started it, I didn't expect it to go more than 1 year.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why.
Yeah. So do you kind of like do themes for the year or themes for the season?
No, I don't do themes. I mostly try to pick up books that I generally like, and I do thematic analysis. For example, when I covered that one, The Shadow of the Torturer, I did collective memory. When I covered the novelizations of Death Stranding, I did human communication and how that affects social evolution. With Annihilation, which I have it there in the bottom, I did existentialism. I did linguistics on Babel 17 and Embassy Town. So I generally do a single episode per month because each one requires me to do a bit of research, to just be able to talk about the topics. So I generally try to stagger them. Like, for example, I did Dune. I have an episode coming and I have a group discussion. So I won't do Dune Messiah very soon, because I want to space them out. But I generally don't have a topic. I just pick up what I'm in the mood of reading, from my TBR, and that's it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Ryan, did your ears prick up before because she mentioned her partner does video game?
I did. I did. You can't see it because I'm audio only, but yes, my ears did.
I could feel it through the internet.
No, I think that's a really, really good idea. And, it's kudos to him for giving you the platform to get, the stories out there, but also to make them interactive. I'm a massive role-playing game fan, and I'm old enough to remember text-only role-playing games back in, when I was
exactly.
Type it in, and it'd describe the scene in front of you on the computer screen, and then you would just type in, do you want to go left, or do you want to use this and that? And I have a lot of fond memories from when I was young playing those kind of games. So I think that's brilliant, and for it to be the first step, and then you publishing the books that you have published, which, no surprise, Ryan has bought all 3 of them. Well, you can't actually see it on because my video is not there, but I did buy. I'm a digital reader because I read so much, Livia.
Yeah.
So I do. I have all my my books are on my Kindle app on my tablet, which I read for like 3-4 hours a night every night without fail. I love it. It is the best mental health clearing thing to do. Reading a book is just amazing. And I know I probably sound like an old man, but read more books. But yeah, I really like the idea of, and I love the idea of your podcast, how you take a book and you break it down and you analyze it, and you go through everything. That sounds like I'm obsessive compulsive about everything that I love. Jamie knows, because I haven't mentioned it to him, but he started writing a sequel to one of his books, and he sent me the first 3 chapters, and then he got a job. So now I'm not getting.
And now you are asking, and he's not delivering.
I used to get chapters like pretty much every couple of days of the other book, and now I'm like, I can't ask him because he's working full time.
There's a specific reason to that, Ryan. Because I'm trying to get myself ready for the market. So I actually got an email from our local bookshop. Because we had a new bookshop open up, and I'm just like straight down there opening day. I'm going like, I have books, and then I didn't hear from them for a while and said, well, we're still setting up the shop, but now they're going to do a big event, and they're going to invite the newspaper and everything. So I've been re-editing some older stuff, as you've probably seen on my socials, that I'm doing a hardcover of the Wedding Night trilogy, and I'm doing a paperback of the Boy Who Slayed the Gargoyle. So all that's going to be ready. That's all done pretty much. So now I can get back to writing the next book.
Yeah, I still maintain that you just did those new editions so that I could have to buy them again. Because I'm also with I don't have that many hard copy books anymore, because we had to downsize our house massively when we moved to Maryland for a more disabled friendly house, because I'm in a wheelchair, so I need to we have a smaller house, but it's better for me. So I buy all of Jamie's books, but every time he brings out a new edition, I'm that OCD that I need to have that new edition. So I have hard covers, I have soft covers. I think I've got about 5 copies of his first book that he ever released, because he kept changing it.
That was not intentional. That was not intentional.
I did that as well. Like, I had to change the cover of the Genesis of Change. I only changed the style of a font, but I was like, I still need to have the new one.
I'm just that. I'm a completionist in every sense of the word when it comes to games, book, series. I have to have it all, and and that's another great thing I love about indie authors. Like, I buy pretty much every podcast. I pretty much buy the majority of the author's work by the time we're halfway through the episode, and I love the fact that I've never spent over $11 for an indie book, and after I read them, I would have paid double that amount, because indie authors are just so talented, and it just sucks that. Or you are getting the recognition because you can self-publish, but I mean, there's I'm a big Stephen King fan. I grew up on Stephen King, and every year he brings out a new book, and it's $30 even for the ebook. But then I can spend $30 on indie books and get 5, and they will be better than his new book. So.
That happened to me. Like, first of all, thank you for getting my books as well. That's very kind of you. But what I was going to say is that a month ago or so, I was trying to get a history book. And I found the ebook at $50, like the ebook, and the paperback was like $90. And I was just like, why? It's just an ebook, $50. No. Yeah.
And like I said, I read a lot, so I can justify spending a bit of money on books because it does help me so much in terms of, just taking me out of the world for just a couple hours a night. And the fact that the indie books are worth, every indie book I've read is worth way more than what I paid for it. And I love it. I love it because, like I said, my TBR list is, well, now it's 195 books, but that doesn't bother me at all because every indie book I've read since we started this podcast is amazing. So,
yeah, that's great to hear.
So let's do what we're supposed to do, and let's talk about some of your books. Let's analyze them. Primarily the covers. I've got all of them here. Is there one that you would like to plug more than the other, or?
I just released The Omens of War, so if you want, we can start with that one.
The Omens of War. Okay, let me bring up the cover with the magic of technology.
Yay! That's it. So I do all of my covers, and I do all of the internal design of the books as well, which is, I really like it. I don't mean the cover. Yeah, I like the cover, but I like doing the whole process, like bringing the vision and adding the details. And I think it's like the finishing touches for me. And I always try for the covers to have something relevant to the story, right? So in the case of Records of the Orders, this is not Lovecraftian cosmic horror. It's not like Lovecraft, but you have eldritch beings which are called alchemists, and they are the alchemists of the orders. That's why the name of the series. And these alchemists, they are 4 orders. Each of them has a different ability. So the covers of my books in this series, they generally reflect one of the abilities that they are using on the book or that is more relevant, right? So this one in particular, I will try not to spoil anything, but this one in particular follows an order that is called Soul Transmuters, and their abilities are based mostly on philosophy and psychology. So they manipulate alive elements, which is our thoughts, emotions, identity, attitude, thought patterns, all of that. And they have the ability to basically, when a person remembers, to be able to pull from the threads of those memories and travel to the past between quotes, basically to relive the memory as a person did it. And that those threads are basically golden threads that they see around the person. So the cover here represents that. It's a skill that's used quite a few times in this book, and that is fundamental to basically reveal the backstory or relevant parts of the backstory of the main human characters that are narrating. This is a multi-POV book in which we are following 2 human characters and 2 alchemists. So both of the alchemists, each following a human, end up doing that at this point. So this is a cover. I'm not sure if you want to bring the prequel, The Genesis of Change.
I can bring that up if you want to.
Yep. So that one is different. So it also follows 2 alchemists. It doesn't have human POV, but one of the alchemists is also a protean reshaper, and that's basically an ability to manipulate what they call half-alive elements, which are a bit more complex, and they also affect, for example, things like air, lightning, and different things. And one of the alchemists, they basically have the wings made of lightning because lightning is the main element that they control. And towards the end of the book, this basically becomes very important. They do something, this alchemist does something related to the thunderstorms and the lightning storms. That's why it's on the cover. And also, both alchemist POV begin by flying through a thunderstorm. So that's also why it's here. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Now with having the prequel as well as the main book. Yeah, can you read them in any order, or do you recommend, okay, this is the prequel, you need to read the prequel before you read the main story?
You can read it in any order. That's how I prepare them. The Genesis of Change, which is a prequel, it basically will, quote unquote, teach you a bit about the alchemists and how they are created from a human, because the alchemists are, I say that they are not non-Lovecraftian because they are not monsters. They are, I think the most accurate term is post-humans. That they go through a transfiguration. So the Genesis of Change follows two POVs. One of them will show you how they do that, how they go from being a human to being an alchemist. And it happens in a place that doesn't respect the rules of time. So past, present, and future happens all at once, which was quite challenging to write as well. And so in there, you will get to meet all the orders. You will get to understand the elements, the alchemical elements, which are not the usual ones. They are alive elements, half alive, non-alive elements. And you will see the powers in action. And that storyline discusses one of the premises of the soul transmuters, which is there is the only two emotions ruling humanity are fear and desire. That those are the two fundamental emotions. And it discusses that. The other storyline follows an alchemist doing research, which involves basically following a doctor, a physician, somewhat torturing him mentally to discover why he can ideate something novel, why he can think so out of the box as to have an idea that not even the alchemists have so far found, right? So the idea that only the specific configuration, to call it in some way, of emotions, thoughts, lived experience is what enables novelty, is also like a consistent theme across the whole series. So that happens on the Genesis of Change. It happens in the year 5072, if I recall correctly. Then you have, if you want, from there, you can hop into one interactive story, actually, which is called Mean. And it happens, let me see if I have it here. No, I don't have it here. I will open and show you. That one happens 5 years after the Genesis of Change, and it's a standalone novel. So you can also go into that one. Don't read anything else. It will still work. The Omens of War is strange. Like I always say that the timelines are fractured because it's not this one. So this is a prequel. This is the Mean in the app, basically, and then you will have all the chapters there, so you can install it and read it. And the cover is this one on the app. Yeah. So that's completely optional. You don't have to read it. But the events of the prequel tie into the interludes of the Omens of War, right? As I said, the timelines are fractured. It's very messy. And I don't want to say when the thing actually happens because it will spoil a lot of things. And but basically the same two characters that you are following in the prequel, they will appear in the interludes of the Omens of War. And then the main chapters follow the two humans and the two alchemists. You don't need to read the Genesis of Change to understand alchemists in general. Omens of War tries to explain it and introduce it. And I wrote it in a way that's basically assuming that you haven't read the prequel. However, if you read the prequel, there are some Easter eggs that you can find that will basically tie up, right? And I also wrote the interludes in a way to say, to explain or summarize what was the main discovery of the Genesis of Change, right? Part of it, not without spoiling the end, but that's how. So basically you can read them in any order. Genesis is a bit more philosophical, right? You're following the alchemists. They study humans, but they don't really see them as something of value. I always joke that I will pitch the book as 20,000-year-old alchemists confuse humans with lab rats, because that's what they do. Basically, they study humans. So you don't get the human POV. You are fully on the eldritch mind of 20,000-year-old beings. That's something. Some people may not like that. They like to follow someone that's more relatable. You can't really relate to a thing that controls lining and can read your mind and things like that. So that's up to you. It's more philosophical. It deals with this idea of desire and fear as fundamental. So if you want, and it also deals with how a struggle shapes identity, right? That's one of the central themes for them. The Omens, and it's, I will say, like a glimpse of at least two of the genres that you will get in the whole series. The whole series is on a military setting. It has a lot of political intrigue based on, for example, the Nash equilibrium and different settings. It has a human POV, which is different. You have quite a bit of psychological horror because the eldritch beings are doing things to the humans to explore them, and that reveals their trauma, that reveals different things, that changes them, because the eldritch beings, the alchemists, mess up with the humans, right? So you also have that side of psychological horror, which is mostly explored through imagery. And you also have a bit of philosophical fantasy in there as well, because they have ideas. They are, for example, the alchemists are chasing this idea of the meridian of existence, which is an extreme coexistence of chaos and peace at the same time. And they argue that without that, society is self-destruct, right? So they have one way of keeping a society on it, but there is a human who can find or who can ideate a different path to it. So that's one of the storylines, right? And yeah, so that's basically it. If you want just like a taste of the whole series, the Genesis of Change, if you want to see the whole spectrum of genres and stuff that I blended, The Omens of War, none of them are easy books. I like, the books that I mentioned for my podcast, I love books that are complex. I'm a huge fan of Gene Wolfe, of Ada Palmer, of Philip K. Dick. So those are my inspirations. It's a book that, both of them are books that will require your time to sit down. But if you enjoy that, you will hopefully enjoy these books as well.
Well, you answered a lot of my questions already.
Which one? Sorry.
That's all right.
No, that's good. Yeah, as several, like I'm that kind of person. I can read a really simple book, or I can read a really complex book because I'm actually deaf as well. When I sit down in bed to read the book and I have my tablet, I turn off my hearing aid so I cannot hear anything else. Sometimes I have my noise cancelling headphones on as well, so I can fully immerse myself in that world. And look, nothing. I really love complex stories as well. When you take your time and you go through. I don't care if it takes me, 2 weeks to read a book, or if it takes me 2 nights to read a book. At the end of the day, the story there, I'm down for it. And with that kind of story that you were explaining, I figured it was going to be a complex read because, you're dealing with things that are part of the technically the fantasy element. And, for general fantasy, whether it's dark fantasy, high fantasy, whatever that may be, the more in-depth you can go, the better. And the more complex you can make it. For me, and this is just for me as a reader, I like when it takes a chapter to describe a village. You know what I mean? Maybe not that full on, but like I am all for that. I grew up on fantasy authors. David Eddings is one of my all-time favorite fantasy authors, and he does exactly the same. I'm sure that if he wasn't such a complex writer, his 6-book trilogy could probably get cut down to 3. But I love the way he writes and his descriptiveness and his complexity. It just makes the story that much more exciting for me to read. So, I can get behind that for sure.
Definitely. I love, for example, from Gene Wolfe, I love the fact that you have to reread it. There are things on the first book that you will only pick up after you have finished the 4th. And there is one very specific scene on the first one that one character is given a letter. It sounds weird, like a very weird, wordy letter. And then he forgets it for 4 books. And at the end, it's just like mind-blowing, the impact. I love that. I love that type of a story. So that's how I write. So I can completely relate to the idea of having, to unravel the complexity in there, Ryan.
Yeah, 100%. And that goes for everything. Like I'm a massive anime fan as well. And I know, and my friend Chris can attest, you know, when you're committing to like true Japanese anime, one season could be 500, 600 episodes, and they could just literally, you know, get from A to B, and it takes that long because the stories are just so complex and require all that extra, you know, and it's the same with everything. So I can definitely get behind that. And it's not for everyone because there are people, like I know for a fact Jamie would, I think we've had this discussion before, whereas I could happily have a full chapter describing a village, you know, whereas I think Jamie would more prefer not as descriptive and complex. I think we've had this conversation.
Well, I think I'm a little more. It's just like because I probably OCD or whatever ADHD. I just like, especially when I write, I want things to keep happening. I just, you know, I Ryan's read my very loose first draft on my first fantasy, which I believe needs a lot more work to it. It's not terrible, but I think it needs a lot more to it, and I'm appreciating more of the, you know, the description and, you know, I tried to write a fast paced action, but it's a fantasy.
Yeah.
I wanted to do a John Wick fantasy pretty much.
And that's what it felt like. It was literally like, and I get that there are writers like that have just action chapter, and that works, you know. And I enjoyed it that way. But also, if you made that book double the size that it was, I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying if you gave it to me and it was, you know, 110,000 words, I would enjoy it just the same because it would be, I love that descriptiveness as well.
Yeah.
I'm one of those few people that can read any kind of book. As long as the story is good, I love it. But yeah, I can get where you're coming from.
Yeah. It was tough for me because it was like, I love to genre blend. Like I love twists. I love the series I'm working on now, which, you know, Raya's dying me to get back to and all that. Ancora, which is like a dystopian sci-fi kind of thing. There is a twist planned for the whole series, which is going to change the genre completely.
So I have read a few indies like that. Callous and Crow. Not sure if you read it by D.B. Rook. It starts like a Western vampires.
Yeah.
Fun dystopian post-apocalyptic thing, and in roughly the half it turns out that it's somewhat sci-fi, which is a very interesting twist because if as you're reading it makes sense. Like when you're reading it actually makes sense because they are moving from one place to another, the way it is presented and everything. But yeah, it starts as one thing, finishes as something else. And I'm not quite sure that a traditional publisher will actually publish something like that.
Yeah.
I really loved it. It's written in first person past epistolary format. So yeah, it's a nice read. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about twists. Like I like there was one twist in Jamie's first book because I read it early, like I think maybe a couple of months before it came out. And I literally, as soon as I read that, I had to message him and I'm going, that twist was amazing. I did not see that coming. I'm usually pretty good at picking up on twists.
I was so worried.
I was like, I did not see that coming at all. Yeah. And he messaged me back and he said, I was worried that it was going to be too obvious. Yeah. And not at all. So I love that kind of thing as well.
Yeah,
I have a few twists in the Omens of War, so I will be interested to see if you can actually see them coming, Ryan.
Excellent. Yeah, I can't wait to get into them. Like I'm really, really excited to read them. And I have actually, you can't see me on screen, but I have actually found the app for for
the interactives. Yeah.
Unearthed Stories, interactive fiction books. So yeah, once I get off, I don't want to download it yet because it will stuff up my internet. So we're doing pretty well at the moment. So once I get offline, I'm going to do that because I am a completionist, and even if it's just, you know, it's set 5 years after the prequel, I will read the prequel and then I will do that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
We actually have quite a lot of stories. Let me see if I can show you. So we have, you can swipe there and we have, those are cozy. Then we have some invited authors. We have, these are strange things. Means of Egress is quite a strange thing if you want to read. We have horror. So yeah, there is quite a lot of content in there to read. And most of them are actually free to read. So once you install the app, which is free, you can just read, which is great.
Right. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I like to, I have, because I, over the last few months have spent a lot of time with my dad in hospital. He would sleep a lot, so I would do a lot of reading while he was asleep, just in case he woke up and he was like, I need someone here. I'm the person. So I love that kind of thing. Something that I can read on my phone as well as read on my tablet. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. So as you saw, both of my series are somewhat related to the app as well, because I have Mean in between Genesis and Omens. One day I will novelize it, I will see. And Dance With Me, it actually came up. That's the one that I told you that I novelized and had all the changes. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's very... Sorry?
I said I'm really looking forward to jumping on. I'm very new in terms of recently to interactive fiction on that kind of scale. So I'm really looking forward to getting the app installed and having some reading of some of those stories. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I hope you enjoy them once you try them.
Definitely. And I encourage all our listeners to do the same. Download it. It's free, man. Come on. It's free.
It's free. It's in Apple. And so in the App Store, and it's on Android. You can have them on both. Works on phones, works on tablets.
100%. I love it when we have authors in our area because, yes, if you tell me there's an app, I know I'm going to get it because we live in the same area. So it's good.
That's cool.
Cool. Well, before we play our very popular story pitch game, what are you working on now? What's the plans for the future?
Oh, I have quite a few plans. I'm working on another novella for the Records of the Order series.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't share much of that. It's going to be another entry point for the series. And yeah, so you will be able to read it anyways. However, if you have read The Omens of War, you will find some Easter eggs in there, and it may or may not help give you some clues about the timelines and what's happening in there. What I can say is that it's going to lean more towards psychological horror on that one than the philosophical side, and it has more humans POVs. So my novellas basically focus, at least on that series, on different mashups of smaller subsets of all of the genres that I blended on the main series. I'm also planning to write another novella in the other series we didn't discuss on Tales of the Bookshelves. That, to give you a bit of a heads up, that series is psychological fairy tales. It's very different. So it's written in first person. It follows dolls that are enchanted by magic. In particular, Dance With Me follows a ceramic ballerina, the ones that you have atop a music box, that she's enchanted by elven magic. And basically, it's a story about dealing with abuse. So the owner is careless, the owner drops her, she starts getting fractured. And because she has no purpose except that to dance atop that music box, that's the only thing that she does. She is a ballerina, so all her purpose was her beauty and her ability to dance. When the fractures begin to happen, that sends her on a spiral. So it's compared to the other books that are pretty dark, and it's don't have like the healthiest ending for the characters. This one generally has positive endings, right? So that's for Dance. There is also a standalone on the same series called Our Own Rhythm, which is interactive. And Our Own Rhythm is more about bullying and surviving the bullying and what happens after. What happens if they bullied you so much that the thing that you loved now is only a reminder of what happens. Are you still you, and how do you deal with that? So the protagonist in that book is dealing with that. They are also literary because I did weird things on them. For example, Dance With Me has a strike-through text. So there are pieces that are stricken through, and that's basically like an echo of her depression. our own rhythm has third person. So at some points in the story, it switches to third person from first. And that's basically to say, how can her anxiety control her and remove the agency from the main character? I'm also planning another novella on that series for this year, but I don't want to say much, just that it will come later in the year. And I'm also doing a bit of research for the second volume of The Omens of War. I already have the title for that. I need to do research because, as I mentioned before, I love history, and they have a lot of history and political theory on them. So in The Omens of War, I have one character that is based on Otto von Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor from Germany. Another character is based on Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Emperor. It's a Roman-inspired setting. And yes, I need to do some research to make sure that I get the political angle that I want to go for, right? So once I have that, I'm hoping to have that published next year. And in between, if I can slip in a story on Unearthed Stories, I have an idea, like a woodpecker in there, like saying, Livia, you have to write me. So yes, I will see you through it eventually. And that story, I want to do something pretty weird, big idea style, unsettling realities, and so on for the app. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. The novella for Records of the Orders is, at the time of recording this podcast, almost fully written. So that's happening for sure. Cool. Yep.
So lots and lots is happening at the moment.
A lot of happening, yep.
Excellent. Oh, that's really good.
Too many ideas, not enough time to make it happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Unfortunately.
If only
one has to work.
If only people just pay you all the money and then you can just write. That's what I'd be doing. All right. We're going to play a game.
Okay.
To test your improv and your creativity and your brainstorming. I'll bring up the graph because the game is called Story Pitch.
Okay.
So basically there is 4 different sections or 4 different categories. Setting, genre, main character's profession, and a crazy addition. You're going to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories. We're going to give you something that it correlates to on a graph, and then you're going to pitch us a story. It doesn't have to be super in depth. It doesn't have to, or it can be if you want. We've had someone act it out before, So
okay,
but
does it have to be my own books, or can I pitch any other book?
Well, we're gonna give you a setting, a genre, and all that stuff. So it can be anything. I
can pick anything. Yeah. Okay.
You can create what you want to create, but there's going to be 4 different things that we give you correlating to the number.
To pick the game. Okay. To pick the story. Okay.
Essentially. So to begin, now there's 2 rounds. So there's going to be 2 stories. But first off, just give us 4 different numbers between 1 and 12, and we will give you your parameters.
So number 3.
Yep.
6.
Yep.
11. 8.
8.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm gonna look at the graph because we get this a lot, Ryan. Your setting is a suburban cul-de-sac.
Okay.
Okay, your genre that you're going to be pitching this to us is comedy.
It's a comedy.
So suburban, and it's a comedy. Yes.
Yep. Your main character, he's a computer hacker.
Okay.
And your crazy addition, which is something that must appear in the story, is, I'm just having a look, a Groundhog Day scenario. So have you seen the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray?
No, I haven't.
It's basically a day on a time loop, pretty much.
Yeah. So
okay.
Wake up the same day every day, and it just keeps going on and on and on until something happens.
I mean,
I think I have a vague recollection of that movie.
It's kind of already the whole thing is now pretty much Groundhog Day, it seems. So your setting is a cul-de-sac, your genre is a comedy, your main character is a computer hacker, and it's got to have elements of Groundhog Day, essentially a day repeating itself over and over again.
I don't recall having read something that actually fits the four of them. So I will have, because I can think of things that will fit only 2 or 3 at the most. Yeah.
We had that problem last week. Last episode. But that's the challenge of the game.
So what do you want me to do? Do you want me to invent a story and make up a pitch?
Me and Ryan are big shot. We're either big shot Hollywood executives or we're a traditional publishing agency, whatever. But you've got to pitch us a story that you're going to sell us pretty much using these elements.
Okay. Imagine the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, except it's the Matrix, and it's caught in a bug on the computer, and the same thing keeps happening, and the protagonist cannot escape the bug, and he keeps fighting Agent Smith over and over and over.
That's really good, actually. That's really good. That's probably that's quicker than Molly McCabe, man.
Yeah, I think so. I think that is. We had an author on who her name was Molly McCabe. She's a horror writer, and she literally, I think, came up with something in less than a minute. And I think you just beat her.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well done. But it's not over because there's a round 2. There is a second graph. You can give us the same numbers and it will be completely different, or you can give us new numbers. It's completely up to you.
Let's do new numbers then. Numbers? Yep. Let's do 1.
Yes.
12.
12.
5.
Yep.
And 9.
So
all right.
1, 12, 5, and 9.
That's it. Yeah. So your setting is a community radio station.
Okay.
And your genre is classic Disney.
You got to give us a classic Disney movie.
Oh.
Okay, your main character is a photographer.
Okay.
And sorry, the fourth number was number 9, wasn't it?
Yes, number 9. Oh my gosh.
The crazy addition, which is something that must appear in the story, is a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker.
A butcher, a baker, and a candle maker?
A candlestick maker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a classic Disney set in a community radio station. Your main character is a photographer, and it must include a butcher, a baker, and a candlestick maker.
Okay, so there is a princess, and she escapes her family because she loves photography and she wants to work on that. And the only place that she can find is a community radio station where she expects to find radio astronomers or something working in there, and she wants to document her work. But it turns out that actually the town's butcher, baker, and candlestick maker are there plotting a murder.
Oh,
you are so good at this.
I like the little horror psychological twist at the end there.
Yeah.
Baker and candlestick maker, they're not nice. They're just planning a murder. So that's nice. Yeah. I like that.
But it's Disney, so it all will end up fine. Yeah, they will all end up fine.
It's classic Disney. Classic Disney is pretty scary, so that's good. You know.
Yeah. It's classic Disney. It's not Disney that currently exists. It's Disney that, like the old school when Disney used to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, Disney gave us Gargoyles, and that's pretty dark.
Oh, Gargoyles. I love that one. I watched it a lot. Yeah.
I loved how it was basically season 1 is like 12 episodes, and then season 2 is like 45 episodes.
Yeah. Well, now that you said that, you made me remember for your questions on the series. I remembered like the first 2 seasons of the Daredevil series were excellent. Excellent. Some of the best battle scenes that I have seen.
100%. I recently rewatched it all and then watched the new stuff as well. And I cannot agree more. The first 2 seasons, fantastic.
That fight, I think it's on episode 2 of the first season, where there is a hallway and he just goes tumbling around the hallway. I was watching that and I was just saying, like, this is perfection, like the mood, the way it's filmed, the music, everything. perfect.
And it
Yeah.
was done in
100%.
one shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know? And then I think
That
I,
was
I
good.
believe, is it the second or third season they do like it's like 5, maybe even 8 minutes of consistent filming, and he's in the prison and he's got to, so they film him
That
going
was
into the prison.
Is saying that's season 2. It's actually
Yeah.
season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, you like that hallway scene from the first one? Well, check this
Here's a
out.
take.
I'm just
It
like,
was an
wow.
incredible series. Those 2 seasons were incredible. Yeah.
100%. Cannot
Yeah.
agree more about that.
I maintain, as a diehard Ninja Turtle fan, I want a Turtle series that is just like that.
Yeah,
want it.
I
I
can
want
see
it.
that.
Yeah.
Because Turtles is a rip-off of Daredevil, if for those playing at home. Did you know that, Livia?
No.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a parody of Daredevil.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Now, it's so easy to realize once you know, because
Once you know, yeah, there are too many things in common.
because the bad guys in Daredevil are the hand, the bad guys in Ninja Turtles are the foot. You know?
Yep. That so there are a few things there.
Yeah, I love it. I could talk about Turtles too, all day long, but we can't because it's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're going to do the thing that we do on all podcasts, and that's give you the floor to plug yourself. Tell our listeners and viewers where they can follow you and stay up to date with what you're doing, and anything you want to plug. The floor is yours.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So the best place to find me is my website. I'm liviajelliot.com. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, and TikTok as Livia J Elliot. On TikTok, I don't comment. I only post the trailers for the podcast, but all my content is on the other socials. If you want to purchase my books, liviajelliot.com/my-books. You'll find them there, or otherwise liviajelliot.com/links. Everything is there. If you want to hear my podcast, just search for Books Undone. It's on YouTube, and everywhere where podcasts are is audio only. You may find it there. And if you want to check out my literary analysis on liviajelliot.substack.com, I post weekly, so you will get insights in there. And my podcast episodes also go through Substack, so that's one place if you want to have everything. And if you subscribe to my newsletter on liviajelliot.com/newsletter, you will get an ebook copy of The Genesis of Change for free. So, and also on my newsletter, I share sometimes some secret world building ideas, or like the theory behind of what I did things and so on. So that's a great place to, if you want to see like what's happening behind the scenes on the books. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. And guys, I will leave all the links down in the show notes, so please be sure to check that out. If you want to reach out, thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com, please check out our sponsors, Rebecca Kearsells, Martin Kearns, Janelle Schiecke, and Alexander Robb. All their links are down below. Buy Ryan's shirt, so you too.
Buy my shirt.
So you too can be living the dream. We do have other merch as well, but primarily
Just buy
Ryan's
my
shirt.
shirt.
Just buy his shirt. That's all he cares about.
And if you don't buy my shirt and you choose to live the dream, you need to pay me $5 every time you live the dream, because it's my catchphrase.
100%. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, and in the meantime, check out, keep supporting those indie authors. That's what I'm trying to say. Keep supporting those indie authors. Be like Ryan and buy all their books while the episode's recording.
Yeah.
And
do it.
we'll catch you on the next episode.